Introducing a completely redesigned experience that you can sense. And that senses you. The new Dell Latitude laptops bring your work closer to you.
Tonight, the fallout from Peter Costello's airport incident, the Nine chairman denying he shoved a reporter.
An accused sexual predator charged with raping a teenage passenger in his Uber. We'll cross live.
Shopkeepers devastated, their businesses torched and attacked as Melbourne's tobacco wars flare again.
A visiting grandmother fighting for life after catching a deadly flesh-eating bug.
Great fears for celebrity TV Dr Michael Mosley, who's vanished in the Greek islands.
And an Aussie equestrian's gold medal dream as the #1 landmark in Paris welcomes the Olympic rings.
This is Melbourne's 9 News with Alicia Loxley and Tom Steinfort.
Good evening. He's our longest-serving treasurer, one of Australia's best-known politicians and no stranger to the spotlight. But tonight, Peter Costello is facing a media storm after he was accused of assaulting a journalist.
The chairman of Nine Entertainment has denied the allegations after the incident at Canberra Airport. Damien Ryan has today's developments.
A chairman under pressure.
Mr Costello, my name's Liam Mendes from The Australian.
Brushing off a reporter's question.
Were you aware of the allegations against Mr Wick before he left Nine?
And in a mad moment, Peter Costello suddenly becomes the story.
Well, you've got to answer the questions, Mr Costello. Don't. You've just assaulted me.
It looked out of character for a man who's dealt with the media all his public life.
Answered all of your questions today.
11 years as Federal Treasurer, and he never seemed to lose his cool.
Can't say any more.
The Nine Entertainment chairman was in the nation's capital to launch the company's new Canberra bureau, with the Prime Minister by his side.
Just in case people didn't know I was here, I made sure knew that I was here tonight.
And it meant another encounter with the media.
Mr Costello, did you assault a journalist at Canberra Airport?
And this time, he was treading carefully.
Get in front and I'll come and talk to you, all right? That's a much better way of doing it. Otherwise, you'll fall over each other.
And willing to answer questions.
It's no assault. As I said before, he was backing backwards. He hit an advertising placard. I did not lay a finger or a fist or anything else on it.
He's trying to say that I walked into there, but I don't think...
you got two guys that saw it.
Yeah, so you guys saw that?
Yeah, we saw it.
Yeah.
I did not strike him. If he's upset about that, I'm sorry.
Nine chairman Peter Costello denies allegations he assaulted a reporter at Canberra Airport.
The media executive this morning was the headline in newspapers and on radio.
Boss, you've had a shocker.
From a company's point of view, it's not really good when the chairman is accused, let alone acted in the way that he allegedly acted.
It was the hot topic amongst politicians.
He's no shrinking violet. He's given plenty at his time, and you just got to take it.
Peter Costello, I know, is somebody who doesn't have an aggressive bone of that nature in his body.
I think it's really important that we treat journalists with respect, and if anyone should know that, it should be the chairman of a major media organisation.
The 2-minute question and no answer, potentially career-ending.
There's already speculation that this could put your chairmanship at risk. What is your response to that?
Rubbish.
There was a high-powered scheduled meeting today involving 3 senior executives. What was reviewed is unclear, but at this stage there is no indication the board will be urgently recalled to consider the incident and discuss the chairman's future.
Peter Costello is said to have left Canberra and gone bush. As for the reporter...
You've just assaulted me.
There's been no official complaint made to ACT Police.
You've just pushed me. It's all on camera.
Damien Ryan, 9 News.
A Pakenham Uber driver is in custody tonight, charged with raping a young passenger. Police say the woman was attacked mid-journey before being dumped on the side of the road. Live to Reid Butler outside the Magistrates Court. Reid, has the man appeared?
Yes, Tom, the accused Uber rapist has just appeared in the dock and we've learned that he will be applying for bail. And if these allegations are proven true, well, it certainly serves as an urgent warning to anyone who uses rideshare services, especially young women. This is what we know from police. The 43-year-old driver, Mohammed Yahya from Pakenham, is alleged to have picked up a 19-year-old woman on the early hours of Monday morning. She just left Caramel nightclub in the city near the Queen Street Bridge. Halfway into her journey home, police say the driver raped his young passenger and dumped her on the side of the road in Batman Street, West Melbourne, just near Victoria Police Headquarters. The Sexual Crimes Force has been working on this very closely. They arrested the driver at his home. In addition to rape, he has also been charged with false imprisonment. So a terrifying set of allegations, something to bear in mind. You would imagine many people would be using rideshare services over the long weekend. This driver's account, though, Tom, has been suspended.
All right, Reid Butler, thank you.
Melbourne's tobacco turf war has flared again, with more properties firebombed overnight. It comes after a police warning urging landlords to stop leasing properties to tobacconists. Crime reporter Gillian Lantouris has more.
A family-run Footscray tobacconist, the latest target of a fiery turf war. 2 cars pulled up at the Paisley Street shop just after 3 this morning, before a Toyota RAV ploughed into the roller shutters several times. Spooked by a patrolling police car, the trio made a run for it, leaving behind crucial pieces of evidence, including 2 jerry cans and a balaclava. Bin Lee has owned the smokes and gift shop for nearly 25 years.
I lose all business, I lose money here.
The 66-year-old says the attack doesn't surprise him.
I thinking one day, but I can't do nothing.
The busy shopping strip was forced to close for hours.
It's so sad. I cannot go to my business. I have a rent, I have a bills to buy.
As the clean-up here continues, police say they will patrol the Footscray area tonight, believing that the arsonists could return to finish the job. A second tobacco shop was also firebombed 12 kilometres away in Coburg. This time, the arsonists hit their target.
It's what sounded like a car slowing down, gunshots.
The Sydney Road Inferno burnt fiercely and dangerously close to sleeping families.
A huge firebomb. My daughter came to the bedroom, my bedroom right up the back end of the apartment, and she said she was scared.
This morning's destruction, a result of 2 Middle Eastern crime gangs battling over the illicit tobacco trade.
How long is it going to be before somebody gets injured from the public or a firefighter, gets injured fighting one of these fires?
And crime reporter Gillian Lantouris is with us now. It's hard to keep track, Jill, but just how many locations have been firebombed now?
Tom, 65 tobacco shops have gone up in flames since March last year, and an additional 16 properties, including houses and reception centres, have also been set alight. Since October last year, Victoria Police actually formed a specialised task force, that's the Lunar Task Force, and since then, since October, 65 people have been arrested over these tobacco wars, and that includes 1 alleged ringleader.
You mentioned the task force, Jill, but what other measures are Victoria Police putting in place to put a stop to this?
Alicia, just last week, police started sending out letters to commercial landlords warning them not to rent out their properties to tobacconists. That is to put a slow in the rate of tobacco shops actually opening up, stopping them from becoming a target. But by the looks of today and another one on Chapel Street yesterday, it seems like this feud is not ending anytime soon.
Yeah, you're right. All right, Jill, thank you.
Well, police are hunting a group of vandals who targeted a Melbourne University building at its main Parkville campus. Police say it happened early this morning after the offenders gained access to the library. They then daubed it with paint. No arrests have been made.
A grandmother visiting from overseas has had her hand amputated after catching a rare flesh-eating bacteria. Her family only recently moved to Melbourne and are now holding a bedside vigil. Mimi Becker reports.
74-year-old Carmel Rodrigo is in the fight of her life.
She started howling, screaming with so much pain in her hand.
The loving grandmother had travelled from Sri Lanka to visit her family in Melbourne and enjoyed a number of adventures, but just last month was diagnosed with a flesh-eating bacteria, Buruli ulcer, after sudden swelling of her left hand.
Within 2 to 3 hours, really, really sick. So the doctors came and told me, listen, that your mom is really, really sick. I we really doubt that we could save her life.
She's now in an induced coma, while doctors have had to amputate her left hand. Her daughter Nashi says it's been a nightmare.
Take off, saving your life, we have to sacrifice your hand. We didn't have any other choice, Mom, but at least you're alive. I just keep on saying that to her.
While Carmel's case is extreme, the curable disease has been detected across Melbourne, Geelong and the Mornington Peninsula, with the number of infections increasing across the past 7 years, with a spike in 2023.
Despite the increasing cases, it is still a relatively rare disease, so it's worth thinking about it, keeping it in the back of your mind, being alert but not being alarmed.
While the family were told Carmel only had a 10% chance of survival, they are still hopeful the grandmother will pull through. The loved ones now focused and taking each day as it comes. They've set up a GoFundMe page to help pay for medical bills, which are expected to cost hundreds of thousands of dollars.
I'm hoping that she will be fine to move on with her life. I don't know, but I'm hoping and I have faith.
Mimi Becker, 9 News.
A suburban street has been shut down after a man was shot in Melbourne's northwest. Police were called to Omar Street in Maidstone following reports shots were fired. The victim was treated at the scene and then transported to hospital in a serious condition. Police investigations are ongoing.
There are fears tonight for popular television doctor Michael Mosley, who's gone missing while on holiday in the Greek islands. His wife raised the alarm after the father of 4 failed to return from a hike. Europe correspondent Edward Godfrey.
He's the popular TV doctor who's graced television screens across the world, including in Australia.
Australia has this international reputation for being sporty, fit and super healthy.
Since the 1980s, Michael Mosley has become a trusted voice on health matters. A former medic turned journalist, well known for his 5-2 and Fast 800 diet plans.
I am genuinely confident that the science is really strong.
But there are fears for the 67-year-old, going missing while on holiday on the Greek island Symi. His wife Claire, also a renowned doctor, raising the alarm when he didn't return from a hike along St Nicholas Beach. Emergency services and rescue crews sent to search for the father of 4. Local authorities fear Mr Mosley may have fallen from a great height. A Friends of Symi Facebook post reads, "Have you seen this man? He set off for a walk at 13:30 and failed to make it home." A difficult search and agonising wait for his family, friends and fans. One colleague posting, "He's an absolutely lovely man. Let's all pray he's returned to those who adore him quickly." In London, Edward Godfrey, 9 News.
Thousands of firefighters will be better protected on the front line with a major upgrade for all CFA vehicles. The state government is injecting $3 million to significantly improve or replace more than 250 ultralight tankers. They'll be fitted with new crew protection systems, including heat curtains and foam systems.
This retrofit program is backed by science. We've taken these vehicles down to a place called Mogo, where in conjunction with the CSIRO, we've subjected these vehicles to real-life bushfire conditions.
The upgrade is expected to be completed by the end of the year.
Australia will soon have a new set of immigration rules, making it easier to deport criminals who aren't citizens. Visas will be assessed under the old system for another 2 weeks, but the opposition's demanding these changes take immediate effect. Here's Eliza Edwards.
A fortnight of immigration pain forces a change in direction.
Today I've signed Ministerial Direction 110.
Replacing 99, the ruling that resulted in dozens of non-citizens with long criminal histories having their deportations overturned. One of them, Kevin Farrugia, convicted of kidnapping, assault and a known associate of drug kingpin Tony Mockbell, had his visa reinstated on Monday.
The new revised direction will make crystal clear that the Australian government expects community protection to be given greater weight when it comes to visa decisions.
The strength of a person's ties to Australia will no longer be treated as a primary consideration. Instead, the rewrite stipulates decision-makers may afford a higher tolerance to those who have spent the majority of their lives here, but there'll be zero tolerance when it comes to domestic violence.
I hope it will be better for the Australian community than Direction 99 was, but on the details available so far, I've got no confidence that will be the case.
So far, the minister's cancelled 40 visas, including Emmanuel Saki, released from detention, then accused of murdering Brisbane man Bosco Mignurano.
There are people who have fallen victim to these criminals who have stayed in our country who should have been deported.
Bosco's brother has told 9 News the changes are too little, too late, and it will still be another 2 weeks before they take effect. Direction 99 in place until then, making further ministerial interventions all but inevitable. Eliza Edwards, 9 News.
The number of older Australians waiting to receive care in their own home has blown out to more than 68,000. That's double the figure reported this time last year. It's leading to longer waits for those needing a level 3 package, forced to hold out now for between 9 and 12 months.
We have seen a deterioration of access, particularly in the last 6 months.
An extra 24,000 home care packages have been committed by the government. The opposition says that's clearly not enough.
Well, the finishing touches are being made to the City of Light as Paris marks 50 days until the start of the Olympic Games. The Olympic rings have been mounted on the side of the Eiffel Tower. The tower will, of course, feature prominently in the Olympics thanks to a temporary Eiffel Tower stadium.
Tony Jones is heading to summer in Paris. I reckon that might feel a bit further away than 50 days for him at the moment in the wind tunnel outside Marvel Stadium. Good evening, TJ.
Yes, thank you, Tom. Or should I say, merci beaucoup. That's French, I hope. Anyway, the Bulldogs and the Lions are here at Marvel Stadium tonight, and after the break, we go one-on-one with a gun defender who's in all-Australian form at the moment, and his COVID stance almost ended his career entirely.
I don't really look at it as, as courageous. I made my decision, and, I'm a man of my word, and so once my decision was made, it was made.
Almost tonight, the D's step out ahead of their King's birthday clash. The Tigers return home. The coach reckons Dusty might not squeeze his way back in. That's a joke. Game 1 in the NBA Finals, and it's game on in the Style Stakes. Cheers and tears at Roland Garros for Coco. Has cricket unearthed a new powerhouse? And why this American-trained grey is worth keeping in mind for the Melbourne Cup. That's all coming up a little later on in sport.
Look forward to it, Tony. We'll come back to you shortly. Well, ahead in Melbourne's 9 News Extra Burden, the state government vows to fix an unfair tax on domestic violence victims.
Plus, the woman said to be the real-life Martha sues Netflix over baby reindeer.
And emotions high as world leaders honour the last surviving D-Day veterans. Victorian women who flee a violent home are being charged land tax when they choose to sell. It's drawn criticism from the Family Violence Royal Commissioner, but the Premier is promising to fix it. Mark Santomartino explains.
Victoria's Attorney-General put it plainly. Women who move out of a violent home should not be slugged with land tax when they choose to sell their stake.
These are the types of things that we want to jump on.
Women currently have to apply to the State Revenue Office for special consideration, a burden the government says should fall on support networks like the Orange Door instead.
To be hit with a land tax bill is just a real slap in the face, and we are calling for an explicit exemption.
17 Orange Door hubs have been established since Victoria's Royal Commission into Family Violence. Its chair, Marcia Neave, last night scoffed at Labor's suggestion that all of its recommendations have been fully implemented.
I don't agree with that proposition. Sometimes I think that the response is a bit simplistic.
We acknowledge absolutely firmly that there continues to be so much more we need to do.
And the latest poll suggests Victoria's Premier will have plenty of time to do just that. Jacinta Allen's primary vote may be down to just 35%, but if an election was held today, Labor would win an historic 4th consecutive vote, two-party preferred. Compared to recent polls, this is a backward step for the coalition under John Pesutto, which has not managed to crack a 40% primary vote since Matthew Guy ousted Michael O'Brien and his deputy Cindy McLeish as leaders back in 2021.
If Victorians want to see a change of government, they have the power to enact that. They have the power to do that.
Mark Santomartino, 9 News.
Netflix has been hit with a $255 million lawsuit over the hit TV series Baby Reindeer. A Scottish woman, Fiona Harvey, is suing the streaming service, claiming a character in the show is based on her and that she was falsely depicted as an obsessed stalker. Netflix says it intends to vigorously defend the matter.
The last surviving D-Day veterans have been honoured at ceremonies across the beaches of Normandy.
US President Joe Biden used the occasion to deliver a rallying cry, urging the world to keep supporting a current battle for freedom in Ukraine. Jessica Millward is in France.
Along the Normandy coast, a roll call of world leaders, kings, queens, princes, prime ministers and presidents. Even Hollywood royalty attended D-Day services. But it was the veterans that were the VIPs. Ceremonies were held at various beaches where an armada of 160,000 Allied forces came ashore 80 years ago.
It is with the most profound sense of gratitude that we remember them.
The King opening the British service, outgoing Governor-General David Hurley representing Australia, emotions running high. There was a special moment for 103-year-old Christian Lamb, awarded France's Legion of Honour for creating detailed maps of the landing for troops.
You were not there in person, dear Christian Lamb, but you guided each step they took.
At the American service nearby, parallels with a current war. The US president promising not to abandon Ukraine.
Were we to do that, it means we'd be forgetting what happened here in these hallowed beaches.
Ukrainian President Zelensky given a hero's welcome. But for a beautiful bond with another man who fought for freedom.
Oh, you're the savior of the people.
With the official commemorations over, it was time for celebrations, a chance to say merci.
Here in the seaside village of Arromanch, it's an incredible, almost festival-like atmosphere with people from right around the world coming together to share a drink, celebrate bravery and freedom.
As D-Day veterans once again took centre stage.
How do you feel being back 80 years on?
Sorrow for all the lovely friends I've made on the island, and also my comrades in the Navy.
8 decades later, the memories of that day are still painful.
Pretty emotional. Those boys in the water, amazing.
It's likely this will be the last major D-Day anniversary attended by veterans, many close to 100. But what's clear is that their service and sacrifice will be remembered long after they're gone. In Normandy, France, Jessica Millward, 9 News.
Madeline Spark is with us now. Maddie, the winter weather took it easy on us again today.
Yeah, it wasn't actually too bad out there today, Tom. Breaks of winter sunshine always make it feel better. The city was a couple of degrees warmer than average, peaking at 16 degrees, and the mild conditions will be with us for much of the long weekend. So it's ideal to get outdoors with plenty to do around Victoria. For wine lovers, the picturesque town of Heathcote has a jam-packed program. Heathcote on Show is the region's biggest annual event with more than 25 venues open for tastings, food and live entertainment. Closer in, beautiful beachside Mornington has its annual Winter Music Festival. The bars and restaurants in the main street will be filled with the sounds of live performances from jazz to classical to pop. And in Melbourne, the Rising Festival is in full swing, so embrace the chilly nights and bright colours as the Arts Festival spills into every corner of the city. I'll have the full long weekend forecast for you later in the bulletin, Tom and Alicia.
All right, thank you, Maddie. When we return, former Eagles star Daniel Kerr walks free despite shocking abuse of his ex-partner.
Childhood cancer hope, how analysing genes is saving young lives, the world's first breakthrough.
Plus, a war of words as Donald Trump sits down with Dr. Phil.
And a historic blast-off for Elon Musk before a splashdown off the coast of Australia.
Former Eagles champion Daniel Kerr has avoided jail despite inflicting terrifying violence on his former partner over 6 years. A Perth court was told the 41-year-old assaulted her and was emotionally and financially abusive and cut her bed in half with a chainsaw. The brother of soccer star Sam Kerr was said to be suffering a mental illness at the time. His 4.5-year prison term suspended for the next 2 years.
A young boy is the face of a remarkable new approach to treating kids' cancer, finding life-saving drugs by analysing their genes. Doctors today revealed the results of their world-first precision medicine trial. Gabriella Rogers explains.
A beaming smile and a remarkable turnaround in health. Scout Bradstreet, now 16 months old, was pulled from the brink of a life-threatening brain cancer.
After 7 rounds of the chemo, she had an MRI scan and it showed progression, so Professor Ziegler decided there's better options out there.
That option, the Zero Childhood Cancer Program, which analysed the genetics of her high-grade glioma. A specific mutation led them to a lung cancer drug used in adults. The oral medication shrunk her tumour by 30% with no side effects.
For the first time in the world, we've been able to treat these children and then follow them for 2 or 3 years and see what the outcome is.
55% of kids with highly aggressive disease had their cancer disappear, achieve partial remission or their disease stabilised.
We almost double the response rate and we can double the survival rate. And this is extraordinary.
With one tumour tissue sample, experts look for alterations in 24,000 genes. A decade ago, that process took 1 year. The turnaround now is 4 weeks.
With time, we learn a lot more. We got much better.
The results strengthen the resolve of experts and reinforce the need for continued investment in the program, which is available to all kids with cancer across the country, not just those with aggressive forms of disease. Scout's tumour has stopped growing and...
we do normal things, which we didn't for that 7 months during chemo.
Gabriella Rogers, 9 News.
Popular TV psychologist Dr. Phil has sat down with former US President Donald Trump for a one-on-one interview. It's his first chat since being found guilty of 34 felony counts by a New York court in his hush money trial. Trump took aim at his critics, migrants and Joe Biden's physical health, among other topics.
There's a term that I know you've heard many times. It's called Trump derangement syndrome, and nobody's ever seen anything like it. They're releasing the people all over the world, not just South America, from mental institutions and jails and prisons, and they're terrorists coming in by the thousands. So some advisor said, go to the beach, you look great, Joe. And he can't even lift the chair, which weighs about 6 ounces. You know, those chairs that you can lift. They're meant for children and old people to lift.
The Republican presidential candidate also claimed America would cease to be a country if he is not elected in November.
Elon Musk's Starship has gone further than it has before, the unmanned rocket safely returning to Earth for the first time.
And splashdown for SpaceX landmark moment was off the coast of Australia. Here's US correspondent Jonathan Kersley.
Starship is the world's largest and most powerful rocket, and with it, Elon Musk is dreaming of the moon and stars. And now he might be a step closer.
We have the top.
The 4th test flight captured from many angles for what would become this mission's greatest achievement yet. Above Earth, separation, and the booster returning to Earth.
The landing has just begun, and you can see the water below, and we have splashdown.
And there was more to come. Starship soared for 40 minutes.
So exciting, we got another ship in space.
I'm still jumping up and down.
But what goes up must come down. 18,000 tiles trying to protect it during re-entry from temperatures of 1,400 degrees. The camera cracked, the picture grainy, but this was a victory for SpaceX.
Starship is in landing zone.
Splashing down in the Indian Ocean off Australia's northwest coast.
What a day.
Jubilation for Elon Musk. Congratulations, team, on an epic achievement, he said. There's not the only achievement in space today. Boeing's Starliner docking with the International Space Station after years of delay.
And I just want to say a big thanks to family and friends who've lived this for a long time.
Mankind soaring towards a new era out of this world. In the United States, Jonathan Kersley, 9 News.
Still to come, predicting dementia. Monash researchers behind a test that foresees the condition up to 9 years before diagnosis.
A portrait of a famous Australian writer wins the 2024 Archibald Prize.
And equestrian Shane Rose gets back on the horse in time for Paris and isn't ruling out a return of the controversial Mankini. Monash University scientists are developing a brain scan that can detect early signs of dementia up to a decade before symptoms develop. They hope the game-changing MRI could be combined with existing blood tests to improve the accuracy of diagnosis.
With these tests more widely available, we will be able to treat these people earlier in the disease.
Dementia is among the leading causes of death in Australia.
Money matters now, and it was a strong week on finance screens with big banks among the big winners. Here's Chris Kohler.
Interest rate cuts in Canada and Europe, commodity price rises and big gains for banks. A combination of all those factors saw the ASX just cap off its best week this year, gaining 0.5% today and 2% since Monday. Commonwealth Bank shareholders head into the weekend with a smile on their dial, the stock hitting new record highs. And while mining companies were better today, they did fall over the week. The Australian dollar crept higher today against most major currencies too, but a month ago it was buying $1.10 New Zealand, now down to $1.07. Bit of a sting for those heading over for a holiday this winter.
Well, the 2024 Archibald Prize winner has been announced. Artist Laura Jones taking out the award for her portrait of author Tim Winton after a unanimous decision from the judges.
I hope that my painting reminds everyone of what an incredible and inspiring human being he is.
Laura is only the 12th female artist to take home the $100,000 prize.
Well, headline-grabbing equestrian Shane Rose, who broke 18 bones after a recent horse fall, is back in the saddle and looking to compete in Paris. Emily Rice caught up with the three-time Olympic medalist at a Werribee warm-up event.
Equestrian Shane Rose is determined to saddle up for his fourth Olympics, despite breaking 18 bones in a horror fall from a horse just 3 months ago.
Femur, hip, pelvis, a bunch of ribs and 3 fractures in my right elbow, so pretty much everything through the middle.
From his hospital bed in early March, his surgeon told him recovery would be slow.
10 to 12 weeks before I'm weight bearing, and I was thinking as he left that I'm probably going to need a new doctor because that's not going to work with my schedule.
At Werribee Park this weekend, the 51-year-old is competing in the Melbourne International 3-day event to show selectors he's ready and raring to represent Australia.
I'm definitely going to be 100% come Paris.
But in February, Shane's Olympic dream was almost derailed when he donned a mankini on horseback for a fancy dress event, sparking complaints. An apology quelled the costume controversy.
It got the reaction I was hoping for at the event. I thought it would stay at the event.
Also vying for selection is 27-year-old Shanae Lowings on Thoroughbred Bold Ventures, an ex-racehorse.
There's a lot riding on this event, but he's got some great results so far.
Racing Victoria says if Shanae makes the team, she will be the only Australian rider taking to the Olympic arena on a retired racehorse. Australia's equestrian athletes are now hoping for no more hurdles in the lead-up to the Paris Olympics.
If I win a gold medal, maybe you'll see a mankini somewhere sometime. But no, look, it was a bit of fun in the past, but looking forward to hopefully representing Australia and doing us proud.
Emily Rice, 9 News.
All right, let's head back to Marvel Stadium now for this evening's sport. Tony Jones.
Thanks again, Tom. Tonight, Bulldogs defender Liam Jones opens up about his time out of the game ahead of this crucial clash with Brisbane. Also coming up in sport, another star cat out of Sunday's clash with Sydney. We'll have the details. Pardon me. How the Demons plan to turn things around after a week of soul-searching. And a debut to forget for a pair of Aussies at the NBA Finals.
Incredibly fun, remarkably functional, and effortlessly stylish. Introducing the all-new Ford Puma. A compact SUV that really packs a punch. Looking good has never been this easy. Secure yours today. The all-new Ford Puma. Effortlessly stylish.
The Western Bulldogs have the chance to continue their bold revival when they take on Brisbane here at Marvel tonight. That resurgence is due in no small part to defender Liam Jones, who at the moment is certainly in all-Australian form. And as Xander Maguire reports, he's making the most of a second chance after his principals forced him out of the game.
3 years ago, he was on the outer with no feasible road back.
it was an abrupt end to a 13-year career.
I don't really look at it as, as courageous. I made my decision and, I'm a man of my word.
Fatigue from 2 years in football hubs, a move to Queensland ensued, where the embrace of local footy club Palm Beach Currumbin reinvigorated him.
I'd never played local football before. They taught me a lot about, being a family club and inclusion, and the community sense of community that they had was awesome.
Only for the Western Bulldogs to extend an olive branch, a close relationship with new assistant coach Daniel Pratt, launching him into career best form.
I looked at the positives in my game and I guess, seeing those things that I can replicate every week is a lot easier to do than trying to, reinvent the wheel.
From his 2008 draft, only Sidebottom, Stanley, Shields, Walters and Bruce remain. And at 33, Jones is likely to outlast them all.
I ate really well, all throughout the year, so it's not just an in-season thing. I drink basically no alcohol.
Far from the power forwards of the Noosa Tigers or the Surfers Paradise Demons, Jones tonight faces a 201cm Joe Danaher.
He's one of those special players that, you have to defend all the way up to the 50-metre line because he can kick them so long.
But it pales in comparison to the challenges he's already conquered. In fact, his career is one shaped by unexpected obstacles and the continual reinvention of himself. And remarkably, its most decorated chapter is still writing itself. Xana Maguire, 9 News.
Well, confidence is so high at Richmond, there might not be a spot for Dusty Martin to play his 300th next weekend. That's actually not the case, but it didn't stop Adam Uze joking about that possibility after a stirring 8-point win over Adelaide. More from Nat Yannidis.
It's been 10 weeks between drinks, but Richmond is back on the winners list. The Tigers holding off a fast-finishing Adelaide to claim just their second scalp for the season.
We've really put the foot down and worked really hard, and the theme of just trying to get better every day, especially with such a young group, has kind of finally shown, and hopefully we'll get a few more wins now.
It's relief for rookie coach Adam Uze.
Just to get some reward for effort. The last 3 weeks since the Brisbane game, we feel like we're turning the corner.
Attention now turns to playing Hawthorn next weekend for what will be Dustin Martin's 300th game, assuming he gets a gig after being managed last night.
And we did win, so he might have to come back through the VFLs.
It's been a week of soul-searching for Melbourne after that 92-point thrashing.
It sits in your guts. You're disappointed because you're disappointed with how it was seen.
But the Demons won't take out their frustrations on Braden Maynard, despite his role in Angus Brayshaw's forced retirement.
Really worrying about the past right now isn't where we're at. We've really got to worry about what's in front of us.
Instead, Goodwin wants his team to draw on Neil Danaher for inspiration as the Big Freeze enters its 10th year. Geelong make no apologies for giving Patrick Dangerfield's hammy another week to recover.
This is an important game for us, they all are, but not as important as the 10 home and away games that follow our bye.
The Cats hope to fix a string of sluggish starts when they face Sydney on Sunday. And Geelong's hopes of knocking off the ladder leaders have taken a hit. Star defender Zach Tui will join skipper Patrick Dangerfield on the sideline. Now, he's been ruled out with a knee injury after today's main training session. Highly touted young ruckman Toby Conway has also been withdrawn with a hip complaint. Meanwhile, the Bombers have confirmed that ruckman Todd Goldstein will face Carlton. He'll return this weekend. There's still no spot for Dylan Shield, though, in the side. And teams for King's birthday clash between Melbourne and Collingwood, they're going to drop on Sunday, Tony.
All right, and you'll have all the details then, Nat. Thanks very much for that. Well, basketball now. The Boston Celtics have comfortably dismantled the Dallas Mavericks in Game 1 of the NBA Finals. They won it 107-89. Now, our two Aussie hopes on the Mavs side of things, Josh Green and Dante Exum, both had fairly quiet games, but as Trent Neese explains, there was a contest before the actual contest.
Boston might be on the opposite coast to Hollywood, but the NBA Finals always bring out the best glitz and glamour. Kyrie Irving seemed ready to play with the ball in hand. Celtics player Jaylen Brown rocking an all-black fit. Fashion aside, there was a big game to be played. Game 1 of the NBA Finals.
Time to play basketball. 4 more wins to take home the Larry O'Brien Trophy.
A thunderous slam dunk opened proceedings.
Horford with the first bucket.
Celtics big man Kristaps Porzingis dazzling in his return from a calf injury.
Porzingis way outside.
His 18 points at halftime helping Boston to a 21-point lead heading into the main break. The action not missed back home either. Live sites across the country attracting keen visitors, including Essendon's Andy McGrath and Carlton's Charlie Curnow. Aussie NBA player Dyson Daniels choosing his countrymen to win it all.
I want Dallas. We got the Aussie boys on Dallas. I'm hoping they can, get up and make it competitive games.
Back over in the US, the Mavs were mounting a third-quarter comeback, closing to within single digits. But the Boston Stars shined brightest, winning 107-89.
There's a lot of things we feel like we could do better, but it definitely does feel good to win the first game.
As for our Aussie boys, Josh Green chipped in with 3 points. Exum left scoreless in just 5 minutes of game time. They both get a chance to claw back a game in the series. Game 2 to be played Monday morning. Trent Neese, 9 News.
There were tears at Roland Garros during Coco Gauff's semi-final loss to Iga Swiatek. An umpire's call went against Gauff, and the American was having absolutely none of it.
He called it and then I hit it. I'm 1,000% sure.
For me, it did not affect your shot.
But if he called it before he hit it, I stopped my reaction. I didn't even finish my follow-through.
Well, Gauff was later seen wiping tears away. She eventually lost in straight sets and later called for video technology at all events. Now, at Cricket's T20 World Cup, a monumental upset in Dallas with the United States, not exactly a cricket powerhouse, defeating Pakistan. Both teams made 159, meaning a super over came into play, which the locals won, sparking those unexpected celebrations. And as we look ahead to the Melbourne Cup, the Grey Wizard is one that we need to keep an eye on. He qualified today by winning a golden ticket at Saratoga in the US. And there was a real Melbourne flavour at the track with our own Matt Hill in the broadcast box.
With 50 yards left to go, the Grey Wizard is absolutely flying. Champagne won, the Grey Wizard. Oh, it's very close.
Based in America, the Grey Wizard was previously with trainer Aidan O'Brien in Ireland. And guys, that wraps it up from Marvel Stadium.
Great stuff, Tony. Have a great weekend. All right, time to check back in with Maddie, and we are all looking forward to the long weekend, Maddie.
That's right, we are, Alicia, and it's pretty good news with showers only forecast for one of the 3 days. I'll let you know which one, along with all the long weekend weather, next.
Switch on a Daikin Alira X split system with advanced streamer technology to remove more than 99% of harmful indoor air pollutants and surround yourself with cleaner air this summer. Daikin, perfecting the air.
Hello again. The winter sunshine has been out again today and it helped push the city up to a top of 16 degrees this afternoon. Overnight minimums ranged from 5 degrees at Avalon and Ringwood to 10 at Werribee and also at Geelong. But daytime temperatures have been much more consistent, most suburbs reaching 16. The northeast has been the warmest part of the state. Rutherglen overcame a chilly minimum of 1 degree to peak at 20 this afternoon. Wodonga also reached 20 and showers have continued through East Gippsland. There's been up to 20 millimetres over elevated areas and just a sprinkle at Mallacoota. But there's been intense rain just over the border. Areas around Wollongong recorded more than 200 millimetres in the 24 hours to 9 a.m, with another 50 to 60 today. Sydney received another 60 millimetres overnight and it's now had 212 millimetres this month. So in just a week, it's had 50 millimetres more than Melbourne has collected over the past 3 months. That rain will finally ease tomorrow, and for us, a cold front will arrive in the evening, sending in a few showers on Sunday and only a light snow flurry on Alpine Peaks. But that system will be gone by Monday, leaving us with the nicest day of the long weekend. If you're heading interstate, Brisbane will be sunny for all 3 days with a top of 22 tomorrow. Showers will clear Sydney tomorrow, a top of 21 with some sunny days to follow. A top of 13 in Hobart tomorrow, cloudy skies in Adelaide and 16 degrees, and it will be showery in Perth as it heads to 21 with more showers on Sunday and Monday. Back home, it'll be mostly dry with showers confined to the far east, up to 15 millimetres at Mallacoota and 10 at Orbost. It'll be sunny through the north with a top of 19 degrees at Wodonga, mostly cloudy through the south and maximums in the mid to high teens. It'll be a foggy start to the day in Melbourne and that could cause some delays at the airport, but not too cold with minimums around average. Then a cloudy day with the chance of some afternoon drizzle and most suburbs are heading for 15 degrees. A low of 7 and a top of 16 for Geelong with the chance of an afternoon shower. The city is heading down to 8 degrees before reaching 15. And then we'll get some light showers from Sunday morning, just 4 millimetres in the city, but a little cooler, 14. And Monday is the peak of the long weekend, partly cloudy and 15 degrees with some light winds. But showers could develop at night ahead of a wet day on Tuesday, up to 10 millimetres, and it will be windy as well, a top of 17. Back to 14 on Wednesday, Thursday and Friday. And our long weekend will begin with some morning fog, and after a low of 8 degrees, the city is heading for a cloudy top of 15. So things could be a lot worse for a winter weekend. Tom and Alicia?
They sure could. All right, Maddie, thank you very much for that. And that is 9 News this Friday. Ali is up next with the current affair.
We hope you have a great long weekend. For now, though, it's good night.